All right, let's talk about something called the visual factory. It's this really powerful idea from lean methodology that's all about one thing: cutting through the noise in the workplace and communicating critical information quickly and easily.
You know that feeling, right? You hand a new person on your team this massive, dense manual, and you can just see their eyes glaze over. We've all been there. That's what people call the wall of text phenomenon. And honestly, it's a huge barrier to actually learning anything. When you've got pages and pages of dense paragraphs, it just grinds everything to a halt, from getting new folks up to speed to just getting through the day.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll kick things off with the big advantage of a visual factory and the exact problem it's built to fix. Then we'll get practical and look at 4 key ways you can actually use it. After that, I'll walk you through a framework for putting it into practice, and we'll wrap it all up with a key takeaway you can start thinking about right away.
Okay, so let's get right to it. What's the big idea behind all this? At its heart, a visual factory is just a workplace that speaks in pictures. Seriously, think clear labels, super simple maps, or graphical instructions that are literally right there at the workstation. It's like taking chapter 4 of that dusty old manual and turning it into a single, easy-to-read sticker, right where you need it, exactly when you need it. You get it in a single glance. So, what makes this so transformative? Why is this such a big deal?
Well, it really boils down to a simple side-by-side comparison. On one hand, you've got the old way, those traditional manuals that create that wall of text we talked about. It's a huge learning barrier that just slows everything down. But with a visual factory, you're doing the complete opposite. You're breaking information down into these small, bite-sized chunks using simple graphics that make learning not just easier, but way faster. And that, right there, is why this is such a core part of lean thinking. Remember, lean is all about hunting down and eliminating waste. And what's more wasteful than time spent digging for information or the effort you waste fixing mistakes that happen because of confusing instructions? The Visual Factory attacks those problems head on. It makes the flow of information totally seamless. It's all about getting that just-in-time knowledge to people at the exact moment and place they need it. Okay, so we've got the why down. Now let's dig into the what. What does this actually look like in the real world? Let's check out 4 really common ways a visual factory comes to life. First up, you have process metrics. This is all about showing the status of something in real time. Just picture a simple digital screen right next to a piece of machinery showing its current performance versus the goal. Is that kiln at the perfect temperature? Are we on track with today's production run? One look, just a glance, tells you everything. No more digging through spreadsheets or reports. Number 2 is warnings, and this is a big one. The best warnings tell you what to do. A sign that just says hazardous chemicals, well, that's not super helpful, is it? But a sign that says hazardous chemicals, put on your hazmat suit. Now we're talking. It completely gets rid of the guesswork and tells people the exact action they need to take to be safe. Third, we've got instructions. So instead of that giant, dusty binder sitting on a shelf somewhere, imagine a simple laminated infographic stuck right on the machine itself. It clearly shows, say, the 5 key steps to operate it safely. It becomes this constant, super easy reminder that helps cut down on mistakes and make sure everyone is following the best practices right there in the moment. And last but not least, number 4 is general information. This is kind of the catch-all for everything else. Think project status updates, maps of the facility, or important company-wide announcements. Putting all of this on easy-to-read dashboards is a game changer. It makes sure everyone's on the same page and can figure out what's going on with a quick look, whether it's in their team or across the whole building. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But you're probably wondering, how do I actually build this thing? Well, the key here is to have a plan. You don't need to, and you probably shouldn't, try to change everything all at once. A fantastic way to get started is using a process called DMEIC. First, you define where you are right now, like how are you sharing information today? Next, you measure what that's costing you in time, in resources, in training dollars. Then, you analyze that data to find the gaps. Where are things breaking down? Now, here's the most important part: improve. And you start small. Just pick one problem area and test out one simple visual aid. See what happens. And finally, you control. You compare the new results to the old ones. Did it work? Great. Then you keep it, you build on it, and you start scaling it out to other places. All right, let's bring this home. If there's one big idea I want you to walk away with, what is it? This quote right here just nails it. A visual factory modifies the flow of information by making the data chunks smaller and easier to ingest. And look, this isn't about dumbing things down, not at all. It's about being smarter about how we communicate. When you break complex stuff into these small, visual, easy-to-get pieces, you're giving your team everything they need to learn faster, work safer, and just be more productive.
So I'll leave you with a challenge. Take a look around your own workspace tomorrow. Look at your team's processes. Where do you see a wall of text that's slowing things down or causing confusion? And then ask yourself, could a single, simple picture replace that entire page and turn that information directly into action?